Hello everyone and welcome to The Good Old Gamer. So today's video is going to be much shorter than the recent videos have been. This is just going to be kind of an update video. So I haven't been able to do live streams here lately. I've honestly been so busy, it's just not been feasible between the holidays, some family stuff going on, which I will let you guys know just in case something happens to come up. You'll understand why I just happened to disappear. And then of course, I'm working a ton right now. So I'm running around hunting down every deal I can get my hands on. And today I'm just going to go over a few numbers with you guys. Over the last 24 hours, I've really been hitting eBay very hard. And I'm going to let you guys know my experience with opening up to Facebook Marketplace. So up until this point, I've been selling pretty much exclusively on a internal sort of forum thing that I have access to here in town. It's a very good place to list things. Everybody there has some money. It's just a more reliable way to sell, which is great. Not everybody has access to that. And of course, you know, there's only so many people there. So I've opened up to Facebook Marketplace, and that has not been very successful. That's pretty much where more people go to find deals instead of just selling regularly. So I haven't had a whole lot of success with that at this point in time. So for me, that might not be the best avenue. So I was like, all right, it's time to switch over to eBay. And on eBay, in the last 24 hours, we're still not done yet. We're definitely approaching nearly $1,000 in sales, which is amazing. Of course, eBay is going to take their percentage. So we'll talk a little bit about percentages and how this all works out. And so already this new little venture that we're trying out, which I was planning on starting in 2024, which is just a couple days away. This should be coming up on New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's to everybody. I should throw that in there. But yeah, I was very, very surprised at how the velocity is on the sales on this stuff. So this is the main reason why I kind of pulled away from PC stuff. PC, it's great, it's fun, everybody likes it, but it's very slow moving unless you're super low margin. This is kind of the opposite. It's high velocity and high margin, but the dollar amounts are much smaller, so you have to move more units. So it's kind of a balance there, but I like the high margin and I like the high velocity. So for me, this is definitely a good fit. So real quick, before we jump into it, I do want to let you guys know if you don't see videos for a while or if I'm missing from Techonomics, I'm sure Paul would explain it. So over the past week, my father, he got really ill on Christmas Day, actually. And they're not really sure what happened. They're thinking it might have been a heart attack, but he seems to be doing better now. That's why I'm in good spirits. He's alert. He's breathing on his own. Everything's great, but it was looking pretty touch and go there for a while. That's why we're just doing kind of a haphazard last minute quick video here to catch you guys up. But I just want to let you guys know that that is a situation that is going on right now. That, yeah, if I just disappear for a little while, well, just pray and hope everything is okay. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up there, but everything's looking good right now. And for everybody out there who has been praying for my father, thank you so much for that. So anyways, yeah, like I said, we're on a good note right now. Everything's looking good. So let's move on over. I do want to show you guys some actual numbers. All right, so jumping on over, this is all orders completed today. So I think I'm actually missing one. I might have posted it a little earlier. It might have kicked in just shy yesterday. But anyways, as you guys can see here, we sold one of the N64s that we had, which is the smoke gray fantastic one. That sold for $179 and total value $199. That doesn't really matter. This is just, you know, factoring in taxes and shipping and all the rest of that. So this is the number we really care about right here. And yeah, so we got a Luigi's Mansion that sold today. Mega Man X2. These are all bigger games. I only listed some of the more expensive games that I had available thus far because I wanted to see, well, first off, need some cash flow coming in, and I didn't want to list a million things. So yeah, these guys are going no problem though, which means either one, I'm undervaluing them, even though a lot of these I price higher than other people that have items on there. But the condition is pretty good on a lot of them. For example, my Wind Waker was actually in very good condition, so I charged about $5 to $10 more than the going price. And yeah, that went no problem. NCAA Football 11 on the PlayStation 2. This went actually for a lot higher than I thought. If you watched my previous video, I figured this would go for like $30-ish, maybe 40. Turns out this is in high demand right now. So if you can get your hands on these, people want them. I did have to get this one resurfaced because it was pretty scratched up, but after resurfacing, it looked great. The box was in good condition, but it was missing the manual. But anyways, that's going for nearly 50 bucks, obviously, at this point. So that's pretty solid. Mario Party 8 disc only, 25. That's probably the cheapest thing that I have on here. And Harvest Moon, 65. And then Earthworm Jim 3D at 59. This one I probably should have bumped up a little bit. But yeah, not really a big deal there. So anyways, the grand total, like I said, 731, 51 at this point in time. That's pretty excellent. This is in a 24-hour period. So this is just like the 10 things that I listed last night. And how many did we sell? 8. So they're almost all gone. What I find really funny, and I'm going to have to relist, I had another Wind Waker, but it was the Player's Choice version, and that's getting no attention at all. So I'm going to have to fix that. I don't know if there was an error in the system or it just went out wrong. It's just getting no views. Meanwhile, this one was getting tons of views and sold. It's in the same condition, complete and everything else. It's just the Player's Choice one. So I find it a little bit odd, so I knocked it down a few dollars to make up for the fact that it's Player's Choice, and it's still not gaining any attention. So I think the listing's just wrong. I'm going to have to cancel that and start over on that one just to make sure. Now, before that big sale, a couple of days ago, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I went through and I actually started doing some hard numbers. I wanted to see what the value was of the games that I have, approximate, and then the consoles. Now, what I did is to make this kind of more eBay friendly. So what I did is I knocked off on games, where are they? Priced games. These ones right here, I just knocked 20% off of what I would list them for. So that would be like eBay value, and I kind of did the same thing here because I run deals like if you buy 3, you get a discount. I ran all of them at the discount price. So everything here is kind of undervalued by a little bit. And then we did some consoles. We got, like NES console with the gun plus Mario Duck Hunt, 120 a pop. That's not going to be a problem. N64 console plus controller plus game. The N64s, I want to pair with Mario 64s. They sell very well. They sell at $120, no problem. So, boom, we got that. I already sold one. we got more. I actually need Mario 64s. Then we have the Smoke Gray, which I put down for 160, which after fees, we're going to be somewhere near there. We just sold it for 180. GameCubes with controller and a game. I like selling the consoles with a game. It just makes it easier for the sale. You could just sell the GameCube, you could just sell the controller, but you can charge a little bit more if you throw them all together. Typically, the game that you want would be like a Mario game. So right now, I have Mario Sunshine with the game, or with the GameCube that is for sale right now. It's not on eBay. I just have that one on Marketplace. I have it for $130. And then that gives me a little bit of wiggle room. But I figure we'll probably average out at about $120 on that as well. N64s and GameCubes, they're all valued about the same. Even the NES is kind of in the same ballpark in terms of value for the console. The games are more valuable on GameCube. Technically, the console's a little bit less. On the N64, like Mario 64 is a little less valuable and the console's a little bit more. It all kind of balances out. On the NES, the console's about the same as an N64 in value. Duck Hunt's much cheaper, but then you add in the gun, for example, and then that's more value. It all just kind of balances out. So the console plus controllers plus games, about 120 bucks a pop. So we're looking pretty good there. Wii's are not very valuable. If you have them in good shape with, controllers and nunchucks and all of that, you might get 50 bucks out of those. That I'm not sure of. That might be a little high, but definitely 40. I have the Nintendo Wii U. I got a new Super Mario Brothers plus Luigi U, and now I can make that complete in box. I was originally selling that with Mario 3D World, but I can sell that now complete in box. And those are going for about $220. So I knocked off the 20 bucks. And drop that to 200. So as you can see, I'm kind of lowballing, or I'm putting the stuff at the price where I know that they're going to sell because of history, things that I've already sold in the past. Xbox at 85. So this one actually has a 250 gig hard drive that bumps up its value. That's why I put 85 instead of like a lower price, which is what you would get for a Slim. Anyways, you can kind of go through here, and then I kind of broke down the Blu-rays. And as you can see here, like I did 250 for value on the $3 Blu-rays, because if I need to do a bundle, they come down to 250 a piece. So I did them all at the bulk price. The $5 and the $8, there is no bulk pricing. So those are just priced out. Then I don't know if this was part of a video, but I'll show you guys this real quick. So as part of a game lot that I bought on Facebook Marketplace, I found this guy. This is a Carrier, which they make like heating and cooling HVAC systems. It's a thermostat. I didn't know what it was. Luckily, it looks like it's in good shape, and it has model numbers and all the rest of that on there. And these guys are going for about $350. I got this in a game box, just a random electronics box full of stuff, for $60. So I got my value, more than my value, out of just the games because I wasn't expecting this. Now, I actually thought that this was a DS or maybe like a 3DS because I just saw like a little picture and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of like a DS. And the guy had DS and 3DS games in there. So I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. This is way more valuable than a DS. Now, I have no way to test this thing, so I can't sell it for a lot. And that's why I'm showing it for $200. Since these are regularly going for $350, I'm going to sell it for around $200. And it's just kind of like, hey, you can save $1. Maybe it works fine. I have no idea. And you can save a whole lot of money, but somebody might take a risk on that. I think that's a steep enough discount that somebody might want to do that. Or if somebody could fix it, if it does have issues, then it definitely makes sense for them to save the money and buy it. So that was just kind of a weird thing that kind of comes up when you do these big lots. People just give you a box full of stuff. You'll check the few things that are important, the things that you're like, I need these to be there for this to make sense. And then you just take the box and you go home. Then you find random things. So that's actually really, really kind of cool. That's something that I wasn't expecting to happen this fast, but that will happen. This is something that everybody that I've seen that kind of does this, they get random, really cool stuff from time to time. So yeah, sometimes you get thermostats. Who knows? And then I threw up all the Willow toys. I kind of lowballed those because I'm not really sure how they're going to sell. So I just did $100 on those. That's around double my money, which would be perfectly fine. All right, so showing the whole thing here. So in total, the value, and this is missing a few actually pretty big items. That puts us at a total value of somewhere around $51.67. Like I said, I lowballed a lot of these, so this could actually be higher. And I left things out like the Mickey Mouse TV, which is at least $150. I left out one NES, I believe, and a few other items just for like redundancy's sake. I was trying to go for like a worst case scenario number. And then this is taking into account everything that has already sold up until this point. This does not include all the eBay stuff that we just did. So that came out to being $64.41. And then total invested, the amount of money that I spent. Now, granted, this does include some things that, like computers that I traded in this. So this isn't how much cash that I spent, but this is the total value spent investing into everything. That comes out to just shy of $4,000. And that brings us to a net value increase to $25.62 effectively. We'll just round up. I'm going to show you guys over here. I believe it's under expenses. So yeah, so when I traded the PCs, I valued one of them at $750 and the other one at $500. Just so that's fair. And then under here, we do have, when I did get cash on one of those trades, it was added in as an offset. So everything is properly accounted for here. So that's pretty good. We're up to $25.61. This is in about a month, I would say, of this. And this doesn't include a couple of things that I just picked up. So we're not doing too bad considering the total amount invested. We're up total of, $64.41. Worst case, this could actually be higher when all of the sales go through. But I would argue that this would be the lowest possible amount that we would see. And if we add in a few more things, this is definitely going to be closer to something like $7,000. Like I said, the TV's at least $150. I could probably get two out of it. And then there's a bunch of other things just laying around that I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to count them just in case, something doesn't work and some redundancies. So yeah, we're doing pretty good here. That's not too bad for the first month. But I wanted to show you guys some hard numbers. And then you tie that in with, the past 24 hours of eBay sales. This stuff does sell. You just got to find the right people in the right market to do it. Now, eBay is great because everybody can do it. You can do it, I can do it, everybody can do it. You have access to the entire planet, and that's a really useful resource. Now, in terms of margins, you are going to get hit between 15 and 20%. So that is definitely a little kick in the pants there. But here's the thing. So, for example, if you buy something for $20 and you sell it for $40, you make them pay shipping. I always make them pay shipping, so I don't even have to account for that. So I sell for 20, or I buy for 20, I sell for 40, and then eBay is going to take their percentages. So at the end of the day, my net profit, though, my overall profit margin goes from a 50% margins down to 40%. It's actually not that bad of a hit when you really think about it, assuming eBay takes the full 20%. So yeah, it's definitely worth just doing eBay. So we are planning on going forward. I can probably throw up some pictures here of a place we're looking to rent. The main reason why I want to do that is because of extra cash flow, and that will make selling lower end stuff much easier. So like on eBay, really selling anything under about $20 in value isn't really worth it. And when it comes to video games, most used video games are not worth more than $20. Believe it or not, the overwhelming majority of games are worth only a few dollars. Nothing's worth lower than $5 or $6 because after shipping, you got to make at least $1 or something. But for the most part, yeah, like there's just not enough games that are worth more than that that you could readily get your hands on to get a doubling or tripling of your money. You would just be running around not having inventory. So I would actually say probably taking a step back, that using eBay for the higher dollar stuff just seems to be the best way to go. The velocity there is absolutely insane. You could price higher than price starting by a little bit if you have something that's in good shape. Obviously, if it's in poor shape, you go lower than price starting. And the stuff that I priced higher still sold just fine, but it was in good shape. So people are pretty discerning when they're on there, which is really good. So you don't have to go out and go buy your own store. But if you are going to pick up or dabble in the lower dollar stuff, don't rely on Facebook Marketplace. There's just not a whole lot of buyers there, or it could also be the way that I'm presenting it. I'm presenting it like, I don't know, it might kind of overwhelm people because there's a picture with a ton of games, and then inside the description's a list, and they're all priced the same. So I made it about as easy as I possibly could. So for example, the lowest price games I have, they're $6 a piece, 4 for $20. So that brings them down to $5 a piece. In reality, if you want to buy them on eBay, they're going to cost about the same amount because there's shipping and fees and everything else involved. So, it's price competitive to where most people are going to be able to find these games. So I don't know. I don't know if the market's just tired because it's right after Christmas. I'm going to have to kind of test that one out. But I would definitely say if you are looking to get into this and you do get your hands on a lot of cheaper stuff, you could still try Facebook Marketplace in your area. It might work, it might not. But then you could always rent, a flea market booth or something, put them up there, do the same sort of thing. Game $6, 4 for $20. That seems to be a very reasonable price point in my opinion. And just your normal Joe Schmo walking around, and if he goes and he's like, oh yeah, there's a Call of Duty Black Ops or something. I really like that game. And then, maybe there's Gears of War and an Uncharted 2 or a BioShock or whatever, kind of a very common game. I'll pick up a few of these, boom, $20. I could see that working out just fine to move lower dollar stuff, when there's people and constant traffic. You could also dump them, if you have like swap meets or something, where you just rent a table for a weekend. Maybe you do them for, $5 and then you knock them down to $4, whatever. Like there are other ways to kind of unload those, because you will get a lot of games that have very low dollar value when you buy lots. So when you buy like a box full of games, maybe half of them they're not really worth much, but the other half might be really good, and there's one or two like really good things. That's like why you buy it. So that's why like it's important to have a way to move those and sell them. For me, like I said, I had really good success using the special listing thing that I have access to. They did very, very well there right before Christmas. They're still going, but it's like a couple here, a couple there. It's not as the velocity has dropped off. Let's put it that way. I do think that I'll have to tinker with my marketing to kind of make that a little bit more endearing. I think I'm also going to drop some categories. So right now I have a 6, an 8, a 10, a 1250, a 15, and a 20. So that's a lot. I think I'm going to take the 20s off the table and just put those as individually priced. Some of the games that are like $17, $18 in value, I'll probably just drop those to $15. Just because they're not going to hit the $20 mark. So it'll be like 20 plus. Or if they're like super close to 20, I'll just up them to like $20. And then I'll just price those individually. And then I think I'm going to do away with the 8 and the 10 and maybe just do a 9. So I'll drop some of the games that are maybe like $7 and I'm like, oh, I'll see if I can get 8 for them. I'll just drop them to 6. And then if they're like $8.50, I'll just bump them up to 9 sort of thing. And that'll kind of clean it up a bit, I think. So maybe that'll help. That's just my thought process on how to move these. If you guys are reselling and you have any tips, that'd be excellent. Leave them in the comment section down below. And if you're in the Discord, yeah, we should definitely have a chat. It'd be really, really great to hear some thoughts, selling tips, things of that nature. So I had a lot of success moving like very, very inexpensive Blu-rays, but it didn't really dawn on me. Like video games are a little different. So you buy a movie, you watch it, and 2 hours later you're done. Video games take a long time, right? So it's not like people just walk around and go, yeah, I need like 30 video games today. But some people will pick up like 30 movies because they're like, yeah, I'm not going to watch it today. I'll watch it later. But they could burn through those a lot faster than 30 video games. And that's something that it took me a little while to kind of recognize. I just, especially me, if I see a good deal, I buy it. It's like, yeah, I'll take 30 video games at $2 a piece or $1 or whatever. If you want to sell me 30 video games for $30 and I know that they're worth, at least $4, yeah, I'm going to take all 30. But that's me, and this could just be, a different sort of mindset sort of thing. So, yeah, like I've had people come over and they're like, yeah, man, I just want these 2 games. I'm like, hey, you want anything else? Yeah, there's a couple other games there, but I want to finish these first. And then it kind of dawned on me. It's like, all right, so the market there was strong, but I think it's just much easier to satisfy. Whereas when I get people buying Blu-rays, they're like, yeah, I'll take like everything that you have that I could ever possibly want. Because they know that at some point in time they'll watch those and they can burn through those a lot faster. So believe it or not, I've actually come to realize Blu-rays are actually the better way to go instead of cheap video games. Cheap video games did very well for a very short period of time, but they fizzled out. The Blu-rays just kind of have staying power. So if you can get your hands on very inexpensive Blu-rays, I'd say if you can get them for $2 or less, in large quantities, like at a minimum of 150, if you can get 300 or 400 at that price, because people will pay $3 to $4 for a Blu-ray movie. We were in the mall checking out some local competition. Actually, I had them resurface a couple of games to go ahead and sell, and every one of their just like generic Blu-rays are $6 plus, and they have a giant wall of them. They have to be selling them at least occasionally at that price point. And honestly, before getting into this, I would have thought that that was a pretty reasonable price for a movie. 6 is a little high because it's close to like Walmart cheapo bin. But, like 5 I would have never had a problem with. Been like, yeah, that's cheaper than what I can get it at Walmart. It's used, but what do I care if it's in decent shape? But if you can get them for like $1 or $2 and you can sell them at 3, which is what I do, that's tripling your money. It's fantastic. It saves people money. That one just seems to be the way to go. So I think if you're wanting to go for high volume, low investment, if you can find some store or chain or somebody who is letting go of Blu-ray movies, for, like I said, $2 or less, just gobble up all the ones that that people would want to buy. Or better yet, what I do is I buy all the ones that I would want to buy. Because if I happen to get stuck with them, I go, all right, well, I got movies that I like, right? Worst case scenario, I have movies that I like. So I guess you could say this is kind of like a monthly or a 1 month recap video. I'm just kind of going over everything that I've learned. You can 100% make a fantastic living just doing eBay doing this. If you can get your sourcing down, meaning if you have the ability to go out and get games pretty regularly, if you have some places nearby, if you spend, let's say, 3 days a week driving around, you got the money for the gas and everything. You drive around your area, your state. If you can go ahead and get enough inventory to then sell the other 4 days out of the week, that could, like I said, cover all your expenses and pay you a reasonable salary. Yeah, you could definitely do it on eBay. Personally, like I said, I would target, like I said, games that are $20 or more, and get your hands on as many of them as you can. And then, of course, like I said, you got to get them at the right price. Occasionally, you're going to hit a big one. You're going to get $400 or $500 in value for like $10. That will happen occasionally. That'll offset where, maybe you have to pay 60%. I really wouldn't feel comfortable paying more than about 65%. I think that's the absolute maximum. So, for example, if you see a game and you're like, oh, that goes all day long on eBay, especially if it's in good condition. So let's say it's in really nice condition. It's like, oh, those are going for like $80 on eBay all day long. I bet you I can get 90 because it's in really, really nice condition. And, they're wanting $75. You might be like, well, that's a pretty quick flip. You're not going to make enough on that for it to be worth your time. You have to get it for closer to about $60 or less. Because after fees and everything, it's just not going to make sense. But this is something that you kind of learn over time. I made plenty of mistakes early on, but nowadays it's, I don't know. Well, I've been doing it pretty hardcore for the whole month. So it's pretty much been the only thing, that and Christmas time and my kids. But it's pretty much been the only thing that's been on my mind. So like the other day I walked in, got a bunch of Blu-rays because I realized that that's a huge moneymaker. And I wanted to just buy more. I want to get all of them, as much inventory of that as I possibly can, because for bulk deals and high volume, that seems to be the best way to go. Triple your money is, you can't scoff at that. And the fact that, like I said, people watch them and they'll buy more of them. That's the reason. So anyways, so I went in there, but checked out their higher dollar games, and they had a Wind Waker in there. Actually, they had the one that you just saw sold, and they had it marked at $50. I immediately knew that this is highly undervalued. I knew that this is a $70, $80, $90 game, right? Somewhere in that range. I was thinking about 70, so they're already at 50. You can always beat them up, especially when you're buying stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff. So, excuse me. So yeah, I go in there and he's like, well, I could do 45. I didn't even fight him on that because I'm like, sure. Because that's going to be a very, very quick flip. As you just saw, it sold for 80. So we paid 45, 80. We didn't get double. I paid him a little extra, but I knew that it would go pretty quick. And even better was there was a Sonic Adventure DX for GameCube there, and they had a $25 price tag on that. So I was like, I know that that's worth more than that. Those are CIB. Those are going for about $40. Now, I also have an extra box that's actually in very good shape, artwork and everything. So I'm like, even if it's not CIB, I can make it CIB. So what ended up happening is we took a look at that one, and the disc itself was a little rough. So I was like 15, and he did that. So I got it for 15. It'll sell all day long at 40. And with the very nice box that I have, I could probably get 45 or 50 for it. I just have to get the disc resurfaced. That's all. And then everything's good to go. So that's a $3 extra investment. So if we say 15 plus 3, that's $18. And that's probably going to go for close to 45 or 50. We're now, once again, making some money there. So that's high margins, even at like actual retail shops that know this stuff. Then also at, I guess, no, the first one, the Wind Waker, was a different store in the chain. The second one that they had was a Metroid Prime. And the Metroid Prime that they happen to have, let me go get it actually. I figured I'd just show you guys. So this is the DX, the Sonic Adventure DX. As you can see, it's got water damage. It's a little rough. But like I said, I have a very minty version of this. So I can take this kind of rough exterior and I can turn this into something great. But even still, even in this condition, you probably get the 40. And for $18, that's more than double. And this is from, a pawn shop. Great. So anyways, the other game that they had on hand that's worth looking at was Metroid Prime. Now, those of you that are doing this, you might have noticed there's something a little special about this guy. So they had this one marked, what was it? 40, I think. I think it was 40. I think they wanted 40, whatever. I just was like, you're a little high on that one, because I think these are going for like 25, 30. Let me pull up a price charting. All right, so jumping on over here to price charting. So in CIB, they seem to be about $25. So maybe it was at 30. I couldn't remember. But I ended up getting that one for 20. And even though that doesn't seem too good, there was a reason why I pulled the trigger. That's this little sticker right here. My wife's like, well, what does that mean? Well, this is actually a Kmart exclusive Metroid Prime. So this is a special edition. Little things like this actually matter. So this Metroid Prime is actually worth about $50 to $60 because it is the Kmart exclusive version. So when I saw this, I was like, I know that means it's worth more. I didn't quite know at the time, but yeah, I think I ended up getting this for $20, I believe. And it's actually worth 50, or was it 15? I honestly don't remember. I got it really, really cheap. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 20, and it ended up being worth $50. So, it's stuff like that. You kind of pick it up, and then when you start seeing things, you can spend a little bit more. You can take a little bit more risks. You don't have to try to find, that deal on Facebook where they're selling a box of games and you see the one game over there and you're like, I'm pretty sure that's a good one. Although you want to still do that from time to time. It's a good idea to just buy the thing that that has value. Just find people that are selling things too cheap or willing to let it go cheap. I mean, they made money. They probably only paid like $10 for the thing. So they're making money. You can make money. Everybody's happy. So that's really just the way to look at it. But you just need to find people that are willing to work with you, places that are willing to work with you, that have decent inventory. That's probably the lesson that I learned in the past few days is don't just, like I said, don't just buy the big bins of stuff because you're going to get stuck with a lot of stuff that just isn't really worth selling on eBay. You are actually better off just investing more money on fewer things and just flipping those fast. So I would say that is the new takeaway that I have for somebody who's going to be online only. Just target the higher dollar stuff. Just sell off the cheaper stuff on Facebook. If you have to, liquidate almost at cost. I mean, if the higher dollar stuff more than covers everything else, and that's basically just free money. If you have to sell 100 games for $100, just a giant box full of games, just go 100 games, $100, untested, whatever. Just take it. Somebody will do it. You could even try like 50 games in a box, $100. Try $2 a pop. I'd say if you're doing games for $2 or less, I might even buy them if I saw one or two that were halfway interesting. So, you can get rid of them. But yeah, so anyways, guys, now that you've seen numbers, now that I've kind of explained everything that I've learned in just 1 month of doing this, and you guys can kind of see the type of money that can be made. I'm just wondering if you guys are excited. This is actually great. This is a life-changing sort of revelation. I enjoy the running around, wheeling and dealing, finding people, talking to them. And some nice guy yesterday, he's like, yeah, I'm selling this Xbox for my little brother. He's trying to do some stuff. He's buy-sell trading. I was like, yeah, good, awesome. Wish him luck, things like that. And, you meet some interesting people. I enjoy that better. To me, this is way better than something like a 9-to-5 job. Now, I'm not saying everybody could do this. Not everybody has the startup capital. Not everybody has the stability, but you can continue to work your 9-to-5. You can pick up the deals that you can when you can, and you can make some extra money. And what's really cool, and I've said this before, you can play the games, these really, really awesome games, and before you sell them. So while you're waiting for them to get resurfaced and sold and whatever you need to do to them, you can still enjoy them. And you can enjoy them as long as you want, because these aren't going to go down in value, right? Maybe a little bit. They'll fluctuate a little bit, but the overall trajectory is always upwards. So whatever you spent, you know, if you hold on to it for 10 years, it's going to be worth a whole lot more. 5 years, it's going to be worth more. 2 years, it's still going to be worth more. So that's what's really cool about this. And I find this very exciting as a gamer, that you can game for free. Technically, you're not even going to game for free. You're going to get paid to game. And you don't have to sit there on Twitch for 12 hours a day being like, I want to get paid to game. No, you can play the games that you want, whenever you want, however you want, and you still get paid. You just got to do some running around, wheeling and dealing, chatting with people. And yeah, if you have fun doing that kind of stuff, you have fun. The thrill of the hunt gets to you when you go to a flea market, try to hunt something down. I would definitely suggest getting into it. There's a lot of people out there more seasoned than me, but I've definitely got the bug. This is a lot of fun. I just wanted to show you guys some hard numbers, what can be done. And if you scale it up, if you, like I said, if you don't target such a lower end stuff that I kind of did, I would say that's probably my biggest mistake. I should have focused more on the Blu-rays for lower end, high volume stuff. But that's all part of the process, and we learn and we move on. There's just so much money that can be made doing this that, yeah, there's no reason for anybody who's passionate and self-motivated. You don't need to work a 9-to-5 job ever again. And for gamers, it's great. Like I said, you have games coming in and out constantly. You can keep what you want as long as you want. I don't know. It's awesome. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that down below. Are you going to give it a shot, you know, part-time? I'm not telling everybody to go quit their job. But I am suggesting that everybody should at least give this a shot. See if it's right for you. And have fun, man. Head out there. Have a good time. And hopefully some of the stuff that I'm talking about helped, you know, point you in the right direction. Learn from my mistakes. And yeah, just let me know how it goes. And if you're in the Discord, yeah, please chat with me about your success. And if you want to join the Discord and chat with me and let me know how it's going, we can have kind of an update sort of thing in there and just keep it going, learn from each other. Just click the little join button down below or become a Patreon member. Links are in the description. That gets you in there. It's only $5 a month. And yeah, I'd be more than happy to give you my thoughts if you're like, hey, is this a halfway decent deal? So on and so forth. I can give you my ups and downs, like why I would or would not do it and so on. And yeah, I really want to build a community where we help reinforce each other. We all help each other, and everybody out there, number one, has fun gaming. Number two is making money. And number three, hopefully you get to live the life that you really want. And that's ultimately the goal, guys. We all want to live the life that we want, and we kind of want to do it on our own terms. And this is the most fun way I have ever found to do that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button, share the video around. And yeah, that'll do it for me here in 2023. Until 2024, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video.